You see a headline: Interstellar object heading toward Earth. Manhattan-sized visitor from another star system. Harvard professor warns it could be alien mothership. Social media explodes. Videos rack up millions of views. Comment sections fill with panic and theories. Within days, the story mutates. Some say NASA is hiding the truth. Others claim it deployed probes aimed at Earth. A few insist it is not even a comet. The object has a name: 3I Atlas. The third confirmed visitor from beyond our solar system. Discovered July 1st, 2025 by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System Telescope in Chile. Real scientists study it with real instruments. Hubble Space Telescope. James Webb, Mars orbiters. The data comes back: carbon dioxide ice, water vapor, dust tail, hydroxyl emissions. Everything a comet should have. But the myths keep spreading faster than the facts. Why? Because one voice drowns out hundreds. Because uncertainty becomes conspiracy. Because when you do not understand something, it is easier to believe it is design than accept you just witnessed something rare. This is not a story about aliens. This is a story about how truth gets buried under sensationalism. How a natural interstellar comet became the center of the biggest space misinformation campaign of 2025. 3. I-Atlas entered the inner solar system moving at 61 kilometers per second, over 200,000 kilometers per hour. That velocity alone confirmed its origin, not gravitationally bound to the sun, hyperbolic trajectory, eccentricity around 6.1. Simple math proved it came from interstellar space. The object appeared faint at discovery, magnitude 18, barely visible even to large telescopes. Early observations showed a slight extension. A fuzzy coma. Within days, follow-up confirmed cometary activity at 4.5 astronomical units from the sun. Water ice sublimating, carbon dioxide outgassing, exactly what happens to comets when solar radiation heats their surface. The Zwicky Transient Facility found pre-covery images from June 14th. The Vera Rubin Observatory caught it during science validation runs between June 21st and July 3rd. Every independent observatory confirmed the same thing. Comet, not rock, not metal, not spacecraft. The nucleus measured somewhere between 440 meters and 5.6 kilometers across. Hubble constrained the upper limit on July 21st. The coma spanned 26,000 by 24,000 kilometers, twice Earth's diameter. Hydrogen cyanide detected at 1.5 times 10 to the 25th molecules per second on September 7th. A week later, it climbed to 4.5 times 10 to the 25th, 2 kilograms per second, standard cometary outgassing as the object approached perihelion. If you value documented space, science, and factual astronomy like this, subscribe. It is the best way to support our work. Also comment from which city you are hearing this from. This script is researched and factual using sources from NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory orbital data published October 29th, 2025 by SETI Institute Comet Analysis. Papers released in peer-reviewed journals through November 2025, including work by Dr. Frank Marcius and Dr. Ariel Graykowski. IFL Science fact-checking reports from October and November with contributions from planetary scientist Tom Statler, and the Wikipedia article on 3I Atlas updated within the last 8 hours containing references to over 40 scientific papers and observatory reports. Now back to the information. July 3rd, 2025. The Daily Mail runs a story. Harvard physicist suggests interstellar objects could be alien probes. The article quotes Avi Loeb, head of the Galileo Project, former chair of Harvard Astronomy Department. He mentions the possibility. Just the possibility. No claim. No certainty. Just a hypothesis worth exploring. Within hours, the narrative shifts. Other outlets pick it up, reframe it, sharpen the language. By July 16th, a paper appears on Archive, not peer-reviewed. Loeb and colleagues list what they call anomalies. Trajectory aligned within 5 degrees of the ecliptic plane. Statistical likelihood, 0.2%. Large estimated size. Lack of clear water signature early on. Nickel detection without matching iron. The paper hedges. Phrases like could be and might indicate fill the text. The conclusion states natural comet origin most likely. But the media grabs the alien angle. Headlines write themselves. Is 3I Atlas an alien mothership? Harvard professor says interstellar visitor may not be natural. Scientist warns object could deploy probes. The nuance dies. The clicks multiply. Chris Lintott from Oxford calls it nonsense on stilts. An insult to exciting scientific work. Tom Statler from NASA says it looks like a comet does comet. Things resembles comets in every way. The evidence overwhelmingly points to natural body. SETI Institute releases papers throughout August, September, October. Dr. A.K.M. Yasunil Hake writes a direct rebuttal. The retrograde orbit near the ecliptic is rare but not impossible. The galactic disk aligns with the solar system's ecliptic plane. Interstellar objects ejected from other systems naturally follow similar paths. The hyperbolic trajectory with eccentricity 6.1 and velocity 58 kilometers per second matches gravitational ejection from distant star systems. Same patterns seen in Oumuamua, nothing unusual, nothing designed. The nickel claim becomes viral ammunition. Social media posts scream about industrial alloys. Nickel without iron, only seen in human manufacturing. Proof of artificial construction, except the detection was preliminary, not peer-reviewed, not confirmed by multiple independent spectroscopic analyses. Michael Kuepers from the European Space Agency explains, unusual chemistry can result from colder formation environments. Interstellar space at near absolute zero. Millions of years of cosmic ray bombardment altering ice structures. Volatile compounds we do not see in solar system comets because they formed under different stellar conditions. The so-called anti-tail generates another wave of speculation. A dust structure appearing to point toward the sun, never seen before in solar system comets, must be artificial, except it has a geometric explanation. When Earth aligns with the comet's orbital plane, dust can appear sunward due to perspective. A known optical effect, not unprecedented, just rare to photograph at the right angle. Javier Lecandro confirms the comet behaves like most comets farther than 4 astronomical units from the sun. No gas emission lines visible because water sublimation is not the dominant mechanism yet. Carbon dioxide drives activity at those distances, standard physics. The anomalies dissolve under scrutiny. Every single one has natural explanations, rooted in established cometary science and interstellar chemistry. September through October. The comet approaches perihelion. Solar conjunction begins October 21st. The object moves behind the sun from Earth's perspective. Ground-based telescopes lose sight of it. This timing fuels conspiracy theories, hidden from view during its closest approach, convenient for a spacecraft to maneuver undetected. Loeb posts about the Oberth effect, maximum velocity at perihelion, optimal time for trajectory changes, firing engines while hidden. The implication hangs in the air. Was this designed? The answer from actual orbital mechanics is no. 3. I-Atlas trajectory was set millions of years ago when it was ejected from its home star system. The orbit is deterministic. No intelligence required. The timing of solar conjunction relative to perihelion is coincidence, geometry, not conspiracy. Space-based assets continue observing. Stereo spacecraft, solar and heliospheric observatory, GOES 19 weather satellite. Coronagraphs designed to block the sun image, the comet during its perihelion passage, October 29th at 1.356 astronomical units, 203 million kilometers from the sun. The object brightens rapidly. Factor of 5 in visible light. Spectroscopy shows carbon dioxide and possible ammonia emissions, creating a blue color, bluer than the sun. This surprises some researchers because dust typically reddens scattered light. But gas emissions in the ultraviolet and blue wavelengths dominate. Carbon-2, ammonium-2, standard cometary molecules fluorescing under intense solar radiation. Nothing artificial, nothing technological. The comet survives perihelion intact. No fragmentation, no unusual maneuvers, no deployed probes. It continues on its hyperbolic path exactly as gravitational models predicted. Post-perihelion observations resume in November. ESA's Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer passes within 64 million kilometers on November 4th. Janus Visible Imager, Magis Infrared Spectrometer, Submillimeter Wave Instrument, all operational. The data shows continued cometary activity. Outgassing, coma, tail. The brightness increase persists. Non-gravitational acceleration detected at 3.7 standard deviations. Outgassing creates tiny thrust as jets vent from the surface. Asymmetric. Pushes the comet slightly off a pure gravitational path. Seen in Comet Halley, seen in Comet Borisov, seen in dozens of solar system comets. Standard cometary physics, nothing requiring engines or propulsion. By mid-November, ground telescopes reacquire the object. Images from Texas using a Celestron, RASA 11-inch telescope with ZWO camera. Green hue in the coma, subtle dust tail, inverted time-lapse showing motion against background stars. December 19th, it reaches closest approach to Earth, 1.8 astronomical units, 269 million kilometers, over 160 million miles. No threat, no danger. Never closer than nearly twice the Earth-Sun distance. March 16th, 2026. It passes Jupiter at 0.36 astronomical units, 54 million kilometers. Juno spacecraft positioned for observations. Then it exits the solar system forever, heading back into the void between stars. Mission complete. If it ever had one, which it did not. Let us count the myths directly. Myth 1. 3. I-Atlas is an alien mothership deploying probes toward Earth. Origin. Avilobe blog post. October 25th, 2025, suggesting Oberth maneuvers and mini-probe deployment. Reality. No probes detected. No secondary objects observed by any telescope. Trajectory unchanged after perihelion, ESA, JUICE, NASA Juno, Hubble, Webb, Mars, Reconnaissance Orbiter, ExoMars, Trace, Gas Orbiter, all watching. Zero evidence of deployed craft. The claim requires extraordinary evidence. None exists. NASA Planetary Defense Office confirms no unusual activity. No course changes beyond cometary outgassing effects. Myth debunked October through December 2025 by coordinated international observations. Myth 2. The object has no tail, therefore it cannot be a comet. Origin. Early observations before perihelion, when the comet was beyond 4 astronomical units in July and August. Reality. Comets develop tails as they approach the Sun, and volatiles sublimate faster. 3. I-Atlas displayed increasing activity throughout September, October, November. Hubble images from July 21st show clear coma. ExoMars time-lapse from October 3rd shows fuzzy cometary appearance. Post-perihelion images from November show dust tail and green coma typical of carbon-2 and cyanide emissions. Tom Statler, quote, "It looks like a comet. It does comet things. Resembles comets in every way. The no-tail claim was premature. Based on incomplete data. Updated observations show robust cometary features. Myth refuted by November 2025 imagery. Myth 3. 3. I-Atlas contains nickel without iron, proving industrial manufacturing. Origin. Preliminary spectroscopic reports mentioned in Loeb papers suggesting nickel detection. Reality. Nickel to iron ratios in comets vary based on formation conditions. The detection was not confirmed by peer-reviewed multi-observatory spectroscopy. Even if present nickel-rich and iron-poor compositions occur naturally in certain types of primitive solar system bodies and can result from differential sublimation where iron-bearing minerals behave differently than nickel compounds under solar heating. Dr. Michael Kweppers from ESA explains formation in colder environments produces different chemistry. Interstellar comets formed around stars with different metallicities than our Sun. Natural variation, not manufacturing. The claim lacks the extraordinary evidence required. Preliminary unconfirmed detection used to support extraordinary conclusion. Logical fallacy. Myth unsupported by rigorous scientific analysis. Myth 4. The trajectory is too perfectly aligned with the ecliptic plane. Must be designed. Origin. Statistical analysis in Loeb paper showing 5-degree alignment with 0.2% random probability. Reality. The galactic disk where most stars reside aligns closely with the solar system's ecliptic plane. Interstellar objects ejected from planetary systems in the galactic disk naturally travel paths near this plane. SETI scientist AKM Yasinul Haque published rebuttal showing the alignment, while rare, is entirely consistent with natural origins. 1 in 500 odds sound impressive, but given the estimated millions of interstellar objects passing through the outer solar system undetected, we expect to occasionally see rare configurations. Confirmation bias at work. We notice the unusual ones, ignore the ordinary ones. The trajectory obeys gravity. No propulsion, no steering. Myth explained by basic astrodynamics and galactic geometry. Myth 5. The object brightened unexpectedly and turned blue. Artificial power source. Origin. Observations during perihelion approach, showing rapid brightening in blue color in coronagraph images. Reality. Comets brighten as they approach the Sun. Increased solar heating. More volatiles sublimating. Larger coma. More surface area scattering light. The brightness followed power law scaling. Heliocentric distance to the negative 7.5 power for the steepest phase. Steep, but within range of observed cometary behavior for volatile-rich bodies, experiencing first-time close solar heating. The blue color comes from gas emissions, carbon-2 fluorescing in blue wavelengths, ammonia, cyanide. All standard cometary molecules. Dust causes reddening. Gas causes blue-green colors. When gas emission dominates, you get blue. Comet Lemon showed similar effects. Nothing requires artificial power. Chemistry and physics explain everything. Myth dismantled by spectroscopic analysis published in ArXiv papers, October and November 2025. Myth 6. NASA and other agencies are hiding the truth. Origin. Social media speculation after solar conjunction prevented ground observations. Reality? NASA posted all orbital data publicly through Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Horizon's database updated continuously. Hubble images released August 7, 2025. Web observations announced August 25th. SETI Institute published multiple papers and blog posts throughout the observation campaign. ESA released ExoMars imagery October 8th. All data open access. Thousands of amateur astronomers worldwide tracked the comet using personal telescopes. No centralized control, no way to suppress information. The transparency was total. Fact-checking organizations, including Snopes and Lead Stories, investigated cover-up claims October 25th. Found zero evidence. NASA Planetary Defense Office issued public statements. The notion of coordinated global conspiracy involving hundreds of independent observatories and thousands of scientists across dozens of countries defies basic logistics. Myth rooted in distrust, refuted by documented open science process. If you value researched space journalism that cuts through misinformation, subscribe. It is how we keep producing fact-based content. Also, comment your location. This script uses sources including astronomical papers from Arxiv preprint server with submission dates through November 10th, 2025, NASA official press releases and mission pages updated within days of this recording, SETI Institute blog posts and live broadcast transcripts from July through November, and IFL Science investigative reporting with direct quotes from NASA lead scientist Tom Statler, Oxford astronomer Chris Lintott, and Arizona State astrophysics professor Stephen Desch published between July and November 2025. The receipts exist. Now back to the core story. Myth 7. Images show the object has a structured spacecraft-like shape. Origin. Viral social media posts claiming leaked NASA photos or images from Argentina showing 3-eye atlas as defined geometric structure. Reality. Fact-checkers trace these images. AI-generated composites. Star patterns do not match the claimed observation locations. Users posting them had histories of sharing fabricated astronomy content. Astrophotography expert Lucia Romero analyzed one viral image. Too clean, no atmospheric blur. Stars do not align with known sky fields. The authentic images from Hubble show diffuse fuzzy coma. ExoMars shows blurred cometary form. Ground telescopes show faint extended object. Nothing with sharp edges, nothing geometric. NASA planetary scientist Helen Sato, quote, "It is invisible to the naked eye. Any brightly colored sky photo claiming to show it is a fabrication. The fake images spread faster than corrections." IB Times UK reported the debunking. October 28th, the images remain in circulation. November, misinformation, half-life measured in years. Correction, half-life measured in hours. Myth based on deliberate fabrications, still misleading viewers months later. Myth 8, physicist Michio Kaku confirmed the object is conducting reconnaissance. Origin, viral posts attributing quotes to Kaku about hostile intent. Reality, Al Jazeera Sanad verification agency investigated. The image showing Kaku discussing the comet came from an unrelated interview in February 2025, months before the comet was discovered in July. The quote was fabricated. Misattributed. Kaku made no such statements about 3-eye atlas. The video was edited, or the quote invented, wholesale. This tactic appears repeatedly. Real scientists fake quotes, lends credibility to false claims. Fact check, published October 4th, 2025 by Startup News. Confirmed no evidence Kaku made reconnaissance claims. Myth relies on fraudulent attribution. Easily disproven by checking original sources. Yet persists in comment sections and conspiracy videos. Myth 9. The object released probes on perfect trajectory toward Earth, arriving 2028. Origin. Social media post. November 10th, 2025, from Account Astronomy. Vibes showing graphic with green line connecting 3-eye atlas orbit to Earth. Reality. NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory confirms hyperbolic trajectory typical of interstellar comets. No unusual acceleration, no fragments. The green line in the graphic is artistic interpretation, not based on actual orbital mechanics. European Space Agency confirmed observed motion patterns align with natural comet behavior. Any precision in the path results from outgassing. Predictable physics, not design. The post garnered 30,000 views. Sparked comparisons to Oumuamua, but astronomers dismissed it as baseless conjecture. No tracking data supports probe deployment. No objects on Earth intercept course detected by any observatory. The closest approach to Earth is December 19th at 268 million kilometers, far beyond any deployed probe scenario. Myth fabricated from misunderstood orbital diagram. Debunked by actual trajectory data. November 14th, 2025. Myth 10. Scientists agreed. 3. iAtlas is alien spacecraft approaching for surprise attack. November 2025. Origin. Viral headlines claiming consensus among researchers. Reality. Fact-checkers at Lead Stories Investigated found the claim originated from sensationalist websites misrepresenting Loeb paper. No scientific consensus. No agreement. NASA explicitly rejected spacecraft hypothesis. September 11th, 2025. SETI Institute monitoring detected no artificial signals, no radio transmissions, no technological signatures. The Allen Telescope Array collected over 21 terabytes of data in the first week. Searched for narrowband emissions, techno-signatures, found nothing artificial. Dr. Whale Farah led the radio observations. Standard cometary signals only, natural emissions from hydroxyl and dust. The scientific consensus, as stated in Wikipedia article, updated 8 hours ago with 40-plus citations, is that 3I Atlas is a natural interstellar comet. Unusual in some chemical properties. Fascinating scientifically, but definitely not a spacecraft. Myth, based on fabricated scientific agreement. Reality documented in peer-reviewed literature showing zero support for artificial origin. Why do these myths spread? Psychology? Structure? Timing? Uncertainty invites speculation. Scientists admit they do not know exact nucleus size, density, full composition, honest about limitations. That open space becomes fertile ground for conspiracy. The first dramatic claims in 24 to 48 hours after any discovery are usually least reliable, but they spread fastest. Extraordinary framing. Manhattan-sized object. Alien mothership. Hostile probe. Numbers and facts technically accurate, but emotionally loaded. Size comparison to Manhattan makes it sound menacing. Under 1 kilometer across, sounds small. Same object, different emotional response. The framing manipulates perception. Social media algorithms reward engagement. Shocking claims get shares. Corrections get ignored. A post saying, maybe aliens gets 100,000 views. A post saying, definitely comet gets 1,000. The economic incentive favors sensationalism. Confirmation bias. People see what they expect. Loeb has history with Oumuamua claims. His name attached to 3 iAtlas paper triggers assumptions. Even though he states natural origin, most likely people remember the maybe aliens angle, selective attention, the human brain weights novel, threatening information higher than mundane reassurance, evolutionary adaptation. Better to fear the rustle in grass and be wrong than ignore it and get eaten. Unfortunately, this adaptation misfires with modern information. We fear the sensational headline. Ignore the boring correction. The damage is real. Planetary scientist Jason Wright maintains blog tracking Loeb claims. Wright runs the Penn State Extraterrestrial Intelligence Center, not hostile to alien hypothesis, actively researches technosignatures. But Wright documents how Loeb claims make legitimate CT work harder. Every extraordinary claim without extraordinary evidence erodes trust. Other scientists stop engaging. Public confuses speculation with evidence. The line between hypothesis worth testing and claim worth believing blurs. 3. iAtlas became test case. Loeb published initial paper with anomaly list July 16th. Within days, Wright posted rebuttal. Explained each anomaly. Natural explanations. Comets are like cats. Have tails and do what they please. No 2 comets identical. Variation is the rule, not exception. By August 26th, Wright posted follow-up. Hubble and Webb conclusively showed comet characteristics. Coma, gas emission, dust. Loeb continued arguing spacecraft possibility. Moved goalposts, focused on size estimates. Claimed if nucleus exceeds 5 kilometers, it is too rare to be random. Therefore, designed. Except size estimates have huge uncertainties. The SphereX suggested 23-kilometer radius. Hubble constrained nucleus to under 5.6 kilometers, an order of magnitude difference, both consistent with data-given coma contamination, cherry-picking the larger estimate to support predetermined conclusion. Confirmation bias in action. October arrives. Perihelion approaches. Loeb posts increase. Acid test. Trojan horse. If natural, it will fragment. If artificial, it will maneuver. October 29th comes. Perihelion at 7:47 a.m. Eastern Time. The comet passes, survives, intact, no fragmentation, continues on hyperbolic path, gravitational predictions confirmed. November data arrives, increased activity, brighter coma, stronger outgassing, exactly what natural comet models predicted. No artificial activity, no probes, no course change. The test concludes, natural origin supported, artificial origin unsupported, load posts again. Assigns 30 to 40% probability of non-natural origin, no justification for that number, no Bayesian calculation shown, just assertion. The prior probability of any given interstellar object being artificial is near zero. We have launched 5 interstellar spacecraft, Voyager 1, 2, Pioneer, 10, 11, New Horizons, out of billions of natural objects. The base rate is effectively zero. Updating on 3, iAtlas data, which all points to comet, does not raise that probability to 30%. Basic statistics. But the number sounds scientific, gives false precision to speculation. By November 10th, the myths have metastasized. Robotic alien spiders on polar ice linked to 3 iAtlas. Fact checkers investigate, no evidentiary chain, internal inconsistencies, 0 credible sources, debunked, Galactic Federation Mothership, debunked, surprise attack, debunked. Leaked photos showing spacecraft structure, debunked, perfect Earth targeting, debunked. Each one falls apart under basic scrutiny. Yet the correction process is asymmetric. One person creates myth in minutes, requires seconds to post, spreads to thousands in hours. Rebuttal requires research, data gathering, writing, publishing, reaches smaller audience, takes days or weeks. By then, 10 new myths have spawned. Hydra problem. Cut one head off, 2 grow back. This is information warfare, not against truth, against the capacity to distinguish truth from fiction. When everything is contested, nothing is certain. Manufactured doubt, not about 3i Atlas specifically. About whether we can know anything, whether experts can be trusted, whether evidence matters. The comet becomes proxy battle in larger culture war over expertise and epistemology. The real story of 3i Atlas is genuinely fascinating. Third interstellar object ever confirmed. Only second comet after Borisov. Oumuamua showed no cometary activity. 3 iAtlas gives us chance to study interstellar comet chemistry. Carbon dioxide dominated, low water, high carbon monoxide. Formed around star with different composition than sun. Spent millions or billions of years in interstellar void. Cosmic radiation at processing ices, creating chemical signatures we cannot replicate in lab. The scientific papers being written will compare it to solar system comets, reveal what is universal about comet formation, what varies based on stellar environment, the spectroscopy from Webb telescope, detected specific molecules, ratios, abundances. Each data point constrains models of protoplanetary disks around other stars. This object is messenger, carrying information about conditions light years away, billions of years ago. Reading that message requires careful analysis, patient observation, boring, unsexy work. Not headlines, not virality, science. The myths obscure this, bury the real discovery under layers of fiction. Resources get diverted. Scientists spend time debunking instead of analyzing. Public attention focused on alien angle misses the actual cosmic wonder. Rare visitor from another star system teaching us about galaxy we inhabit. That story does not need aliens to be extraordinary. It already is. December 19th, 2025. 3 iAtlas makes closest approach to Earth. 1.8 astronomical units, 269 million kilometers. Observatories worldwide image it. Spectroscopy continues. Data accumulates. March 2026, it passes Jupiter. Juno spacecraft observes, collects data, then the comet fades, recedes, heads back toward interstellar space. Decades from now, it will cross the heliopause, leave solar influence, return to the dark between stars. Maybe millions of years later, it enters another system. Maybe not. Its trajectory set by dynamics of galactic disk, gravitational perturbations, star passages. No intent, no mission, just physics. Meanwhile, on Earth, the myths persist. Videos remain online. Posts keep circulating. New people discover the story. Start the cycle again. Is it aliens? What if NASA lied? Look at this image. Comments fill with speculation. Some people convinced, others skeptical. Few check sources. Even fewer read actual scientific papers. The information ecosystem rewards engagement over accuracy, emotion over evidence, speed over verification. 3 iAtlas is case study. Template for future misinformation. Next interstellar object will spawn same pattern. Headlines grabbing attention. Scientists issuing careful statements. Subset claiming aliens. Media amplifying conflict. Public confused. Cycle repeating. Until we change incentives. Until we value truth over clicks. Until we teach information literacy. The pattern continues. What should you do when next one arrives? And there will be a next one. Improved telescopes. Rubin Observatory starting operations. will detect interstellar objects regularly, maybe one per year, maybe more. When headlines scream about alien visitors, remember 3-Eye Atlas, check primary sources, NASA, ESA, actual observatories. Read beyond headline. Look for peer review, multiple independent confirmations. Be suspicious of single scientist claiming extraordinary thing. Even Harvard professors can be wrong, especially when their colleagues disagree. Watch for hedging language. Could be, might indicate, possibly. These signal speculation, not conclusion. Understand probabilities. Low probability events happen. Universe is big. Rare things occur. But alien spacecraft visiting solar system is far rarer than unusual natural object. Prior probabilities matter. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That standard exists for reason, easy to claim, hard to prove. Burden of proof on claimant, not on skeptic. Wait for data, perihelion passage, post-observation analysis. Give science time to work. Process is slow, messy, self-correcting, but it works. Better than any alternative. Trust it. Not blindly. With informed understanding of how it functions. And when faced with uncertainty, with genuine, I do not know, resist urge to fill gap with exciting fiction. Sit with uncertainty. Wait for evidence. Accept that sometimes we simply do not know yet. That is honest. That is scientific. That is how we actually learn truth about cosmos. 3. Atlas taught us something. Not about aliens, about ourselves, about how we process information, how we respond to uncertainty, how we choose what to believe. The myths revealed our biases, our fears, our desire for simple answers to complex questions. Every person sharing alien mothership theory wanted it to be true on some level. Wanted universe to be more interesting. Wanted vindication of belief that we are not alone, that instinct is human, understandable, but it cannot override evidence, cannot justify spreading misinformation. We owe it to each other to be careful with truth, to check before sharing, to correct when wrong, to prioritize accuracy over engagement. The comet is just ice and rock, but the lesson is about information, about epistemology, about how we know what we know. In age of AI-generated images, deep fakes, algorithmic amplification of outrage, we need those skills more than ever. 3-Eye Atlas is small test, practice run. Future challenges will be harder, ambiguous. Higher stakes, start building information literacy now, start practicing verification, start valuing truth, because next crisis will not wait. Next misinformation wave will not pause. Your ability to distinguish fact from fiction might matter. For decisions, for votes, for understanding reality. 3-Eye Atlas myth cycle showed the problem, also showed the solution. Rigorous science, open data, coordinated fact-checking. Patient education. It works. Slowly, imperfectly, but it works. Scientists published papers. Observatories released images. Fact-checkers investigated claims. Educators explained concepts. Truth emerged. Not immediately, not universally. But it emerged. That is the model. That is how we fight misinformation. Not with censorship. Not with appeals to authority. With evidence. With transparency. With commitment to process. 3-Eye Atlas will exit solar system. Myths will fade. Eventually. But the framework remains. The tools work. The method succeeds. Next time we will be ready. We have practiced on a comet. What could be better preparation? The object is currently past Jupiter orbit. Moving outward. Fading from view. Observations will continue sporadically. Few more papers will publish. Analyzing final data sets. Drawing conclusions. Then 3-Eye Atlas becomes historical. Another entry in catalog. Third interstellar object. First carbon dioxide dominated interstellar comet. Notable for misinformation campaign it inspired. Footnote and bigger story of how humanity learned to navigate information age, or failed to. That part is not written yet. We are living it, writing it. Every share, every click, every moment of critical thinking, every time you check source instead of assuming, every time you wait for evidence instead of jumping to conclusion. That is the story. You are author. Choose carefully, because the universe will keep sending visitors, objects from deep space, phenomena we do not immediately understand. Each one is test, not of them, of us, how we respond, what we believe, why we believe it. 3-Eye Atlas passed that test. The object behaved exactly as physics predicted. Natural, comet, ice, rock, molecules, gravity, no aliens, no conspiracy, no hidden truth. Just a traveler from another star, teaching us chemistry. If we listen, if we look at data, if we resist urge to impose narrative, the universe does not care about our stories. It follows laws, predictable, testable, knowable. That is more wonderful than any fiction, more meaningful than any myth. The truth of 3i Atlas is that it is ordinary, rare but ordinary, understandable but mysterious, distant but observable. It is exactly what science said it would be. And that is enough. That is everything. That is the real story. Not aliens, not conspiracy, just cosmos, revealing itself, one photon at a time, to anyone willing to look, to really look, past headlines, past assumptions, past what we want to be true, to what actually is. That is the gift 3i Atlas brought. Not from space, from the process of understanding it, the gift of knowing how to know, in a world drowning in claims. That might be most valuable thing, most rare, most worth protecting, the capacity to distinguish truth, the commitment to seek it, the humility to admit uncertainty, the patience to wait for evidence. 3. Atlas is gone, heading back to darkness, but those lessons remain. If we choose to learn them, if we choose to remember when next visitor arrives, and the cycle begins again, myths will spawn, headlines will scream, scientists will measure. We will face the choice. Believe the exciting lie, or accept the boring truth. Choose truth. Always choose truth. Even when it disappoints, even when it lacks drama, even when nobody watches. Choose truth. Because in the long run, over years and decades and centuries, truth is only thing that compounds, only thing that builds, only thing that lasts. Everything else is noise. 3. Atlas taught us that, in the clearest way possible, by being exactly what it appeared to be, nothing more, nothing less, a comet from another star passing through, teaching anyone who listened that the universe speaks in numbers, in spectra, in orbital mechanics, not in mysteries, not in cover-ups, in math, and math never lies. If you know how to read it, that is the final lesson. Learn the language, learn to read the universe directly, stop relying on interpreters, become fluent yourself. Then no myth can mislead you, no headline can deceive you, no claim can shake you, because you will know, not believe, not hope. No, based on evidence, based on data, based on reality. That is power, that is freedom. That is what 3i Atlas offers, if you take it. If you do the work, if you commit to truth, over comfort, over convenience, over clicks. Truth, always truth, because in the end, when all myths fade, when all conspiracies collapse, when all false claims dissolve, truth remains solid, unshakable, real. 3i Atlas remains a comet, now and forever. No matter what anyone says, that is the story, that is the truth, that is what happened. End of transmission.